Hello dear viewer, yesterday we got some new Criterion Collection announcements for the month of April this year, and there's some really exciting stuff to talk about. There's also some news here that I'd almost give a bit of a warning about to you before you make your purchasing decisions. So without further ado, let's get into these announcements. Let's start out with the announcement of a 4K upgrade which might have some problems. I'm talking about Picnic at Hanging Rock, the brilliant film from Peter Weir. This was a very early title in the Criterion Collection, spy number 29. I have the old dual format edition. This is the Blu-ray, DVD, and the original Joan Lindsay novel is included in the package as well. This is from almost 10 years ago now, so in terms of modern viewing experiences, this does look rather dated, but still, very watchable. Regular viewers of the channel may know that Picnic at Hanging Rock actually got another release last year. This is the one from Second Sight Films in the UK. This is a 4K UHD package, which again comes with the novel and lots of other great stuff inside. Now, the reason I bring up this release to compare to this new announcement from Criterion is that both releases are from a 4K digital restoration overseen by Peter Weir, the director, and Russell Boyd, the cinematographer. You may think that we're in safe hands with the filmmakers here overseeing the restoration process, and it's a bit of a sore topic in film preservation today, where we see filmmakers going back to their older films, restoring them, bringing them to modern technology and to newer audiences, but in the process actually making some changes to how the film appears. In the Second Sight 4K presentation, there was a lot of promise in the image. Some parts of the film look very good indeed. However, there have been some digital effects added to this restoration in terms of digital noise reduction. So the artificial smoothing of the image, perhaps to reduce film grain. Often when this effect is used in a film, it becomes quite apparent because it has the negative effect of making faces look smoother and the loss of detail in the image. We see that in this presentation, in some of the medium and close-up shots of some of the characters. Their faces do look very smooth, almost a bit wax-like, as though they are a wax model in a museum. Your sensitivity to this sort of thing will vary depending on who you are and how accustomed you are to looking for it. But sadly, the presence of this affected how the overall restoration looked. And in my opinion, while the 4K disc was, a good one and the package from Second Sight was superb, the film presentation itself left more to be desired from me. I bring up all of this in conversation about this Criterion announcement because in all likelihood this is the same 4K restoration. I know it says new 4K restoration on Criterion's website, but that likely just means new in comparison to their older Blu-ray disc. When I made my review video on the Second Sight release last year, some people pointed out that the filmmakers wanted the film to have a softer look because it is quite a dreamlike film, and during production of the film I believe they actually stretched fabric over the camera lens to diffuse the image and give it that softer look. Even so, that's not what I'm talking about when I talk about the smoothness of the image, because the way the 4K restoration looks is evidence of digital manipulation. It's a whole conversation for another day on whether this is the right thing to do from a filmmaker because it's their film. Who am I to say how the film should look? But in terms of keeping the film in the kind of state that it has been presented in the past, included originally theatrically, the new 4K restoration does not stay in line with that. In terms of the special features, they are exactly the same as on the older release. I mean, we've come to expect this with all of the upgrades. The only difference is you don't get the inclusion of the novel that was with the old dual format editions. So it's likely that this release will just be in the normal Scanavo plastic cases. Anyway, the film itself is wonderful. Peter Weir is a filmmaker I admire so greatly. So I'm excited for people to get this in their hands and experience the film perhaps for the first time. Just like I said, take on board some of that information about the 4K restoration. Moving on, let's talk about Lahen. This is getting a 4K upgrade from Criterion over the older Blu-ray disc, which I've got here. This is from 2012, so it's crazy to think that that's 12 years ago. I mean, where does the time go? And if you haven't seen this, it is absolutely an incredible piece of cinema. One of the greatest films of the 1990s. And I implore everyone to seek this one out, whatever format you're getting, whether it's an old Blu-ray or some dodgy stream online or the new 4K. Just go and see this film. It is incredible. So it's getting a 4K UHD upgrade. This is from a new 4K master. I believe this will likely be the same one that was used by Studio Canal in France for their disc a few years ago, and in Germany there was a 4K as well. I haven't experienced those 4K discs firsthand, but from what I've heard, they are pretty good presentations. People are very pleased with them. There's the odd moments where the encode is a bit dodgy and it brings in some unwanted effects. But like I said, I've not seen that myself, so it could be that most people will not even notice those issues. I know that here in the UK, BFI released Lahen on a new Blu-ray from a 4K restoration recently, and I believe they have no plans to release a 4K UHD. So I don't know what the case is going to be for this film getting a 4K disc in the UK. So it could be that the new Criterion disc is one that people like me might choose to import. Again, like with all of the 4K upgrades, no new special features. The artwork will look exactly the same as this. The case will look exactly the same on the shelf, except it will just say 4K UHD up here in tiny letters. So do be aware. I've seen some people recently getting some 4K discs in Barnes & Noble, which have the silver 4K UHD sticker on the front. But then when they've got home and opened up the wrapping, they've actually looked at the back and it was the Blu-ray disc only that was included in the package. So do be aware of that. I do wish Criterion would differentiate the 4K versions from the Blu-rays more, because it just makes sense to. Even just some new artwork would be great, and more reason for people to keep their old discs around and not flood the market with older Blu-rays. Anyway, let me not get into a rant here. I love this film, cannot wait to see what the 4K disc offers, and yeah, please do check this film out if you've not seen it. It is absolutely amazing. Now we start moving into some territory where it has me wondering, is this month of announcements actually one of the best slates in the longest time? Because there are two films in particular that have been announced, which I'm understating it if I say I cannot wait. Seriously, these films have been on my watch list for the longest time. I've been waiting for just Blu-ray editions and they haven't come. And here we're getting 4K discs right off the bat. The first one is I Am Cuba from Mikhail Kalatozov. This is one, oh my gosh, I have wanted to see this for the longest time. And I'm one of those people that I hold out for a good presentation of a film. I know it's a bit stubborn and some people just want to see a film in any way they can as soon as they become interested in it. But I like the wait. I don't mind the wait because there's so much stuff to explore in the meantime. I Am Cuba is a film that regularly ranks as one of the greatest films of all time. I always see people reviewing it on Letterboxd and I get a bit envious because I really want to see it, and very soon I'm going to be able to on a 4K UHD disc, no less. This is great news. I'm very surprised that this would get a 4K disc right off the bat, because even though it's described as one of the greatest films of all time, it probably doesn't have, you know, a wide sort of mainstream appeal. So to me, this signifies that Criterion might be experimenting more with putting more, you know, niche titles on 4K straight away. If you haven't seen them already, other films from the filmmaker that are in the collection are The Cranes Are Flying, such a masterpiece, such wondrous camera direction and storytelling. Absolutely love this. And likewise with Letter Never Sent. These are two films that, you know, definitely check out. And The Cranes Are Flying is available in the UK as well. Mentioning the UK, this could perhaps be one that gets a 4K release from Criterion in the UK, because we've seen Criterion have come back to the market. They've started doing 4K releases here, and I don't know the status of the releasing rights for this film in the UK, but this could be a real possibility, and it would help me because it would save on import costs. As well as the 4K presentation, there is a documentary on the film here. There's an introduction from Martin Scorsese and a new appreciation from cinematographer Bradford Young. So if you can't tell already, I'm very excited for this one. And then we come to another release that I have been waiting for so long. It's Werkmeister Harmonies from Bela Tarr and Agnieszka Hranitsky. Again, this is often quoted as one of the best films of all time. I have been waiting for a Blu-ray, which has never come, at least in this country, and now we're getting a 4K UHD. This is very exciting. I know some people that have already seen this 4K restoration theatrically in cinemas, and they've said it looks beautiful. So I'm very excited and optimistic about this release. I've never seen the film. I have waited for it for a long time. The only film I've seen from Bela Tarr is The Turin Horse, which is very good indeed. I even have this film, Satan Tango. You can hear it still sealed. I'm just building up the courage to watch this film. If you don't know, the film is 7 hours long, and I've said for quite a while that I want to devote a whole day to watching the film without distraction, without looking at my phone, because I don't like breaking up long films across multiple days. I like to watch it in one go, fully get absorbed, and I just haven't done it yet. Maybe soon, maybe this new announcement will get me watching this film, because from the people that have watched it, they say it is a masterpiece. As well as getting the 4K presentation of the film itself, on the included Blu-ray, the feature film Family Nest, which was the debut from Bela Tarr, is included as well. This is great news. You're getting 2 films in one package. There is also a new interview with Tarr from Scott Founders, so I'm excited to watch that as well. Rounding out the month is a Blu-ray of the film Dogfight from Nancy Savoca, starring River Phoenix and Lily Taylor. This is a film I've never seen, but I know that Brian from Just the Discs podcast is a big fan of this film. I saw him posting about it on Instagram yesterday. And I've seen other people, many people actually, saying how good this film is. So because I haven't seen it, I can't say too much about the film. But this is from a 2K restoration on the Blu-ray. And along with the film, there is an audio commentary and there is a whole host of new interviews with people involved with the film. So there's a lot to look forward to in April from the Criterion Collection. Perhaps some trepidation in terms of those 4K upgrades, but the new stuff, oh, I am so excited for. Do let me know in the comments below what you thought of these announcements. Are you excited for any of these? Did they leave you wanting a bit more? Let me know what you think. If you want more Criterion Collection recommendations from me, then just click the video that's presented on screen right now. Thanks very much for watching this video, and I'll see you soon.